Hello, welcome to Journeying the Spirit with Charlmayne. I am Charlmayne Settles, your favorite transformation coach, spiritual teacher, author, and Reiki practitioner. This is episode 3. Episode 3 of Journeying the Spirit with Charlmayne. Thank you so much for joining me. Today's episode will be about becoming more self-aware. Now, while I was trying to plan out this episode or thinking of things to discuss during this episode, I kept saying becoming more self-aware and becoming aware of self kept popping up into my head. So, though they sound very similar, and they are similar, there are differences. So in this episode, I will be discussing becoming more self-aware as well as becoming aware of self. Now, I want to set my intention for this episode, which is very simple. My intention for this episode is to equip someone somewhere with more tools and more knowledge to become more self-aware. Okay, so story time. First, I want to start this off with the story of a recent, I won't call it an incident, but a recent run-in I had with a coworker of mine. So this specific coworker, he was rude to me on one occasion, and I kind of brushed it off because, I pick and choose my battles, and everybody does not deserve my energy all the time. That's just how I feel. So he was rude to me once, and I kind of brushed it off. And then another incident occurred on a different day, and he was rude to me again. This time I said no. Because this is going to become a pattern, and you're going to think that I don't have boundaries and that this is okay for you to do. So I said, no, I'm going to let you know that you're being rude to me. I don't appreciate it, and I'm not going to be receptive of your request if you're speaking to me that way. Now, when this was happening, I felt in my heart chakra, I felt heat rise. I felt my head started tingling. My fingers were tingling. Like, I felt the energy moving through my body because I was aware of myself. I was self-aware enough to know that this is bothering me. This is triggering me. Now, when I told him how I felt, I did not want to hold on to that because I already felt like an emotional build-up coming. And I know that if you allow those emotions to fester, then that's how you get energetic blockages. Protect my bubble, absolutely. That's how you get energetic blockages. So I came up with an acronym and that I'm going to share with you guys, and it is PAR. In my free course on Udemy, I say a way to become more self-aware is to part ways with negative emotions. P, pause. Like in that situation, I paused just because I didn't want to explode on him, I didn't want to make a bad situation worse. So I paused. A, assess. I assessed the situation. I tried to stop and see what's really happening right now. What's really going on? Assess the situation. R, respond. Don't react. Responses come from after you've paused, after you've assessed the situation. Reactions come from, oh, I'm mad. This is what it is. I'm going to tell you how it is. I'm going to tell you how I feel, right? So I assessed the situation and I responded. I did not react. And then the biggest part that we get caught up on, release. A lot of us do not release those emotions. We do not release the feelings that we have, and that's how they fester within us, and it's a negative transfers of energy. Now we're mad, even though we weren't even mad before. We're mad because that person was mad when all we had to do was pause, assess the situation, respond. If it deserves a response, everything doesn't even deserve a response. So if you assess that it does deserve a response, respond and then release it. Release it right then and there. Do not allow those emotions or that negative energy to live in your field, because that's just bringing your vibration down, and we're working to raise our vibrations every day. So to become more self-aware. Becoming more self-aware is one of the first steps in creating the life that you want to live. Yes. When you become more self-aware, you become aware of your thoughts and of the words that you say and of your actions. And if they aren't always positive, or if they aren't as positive as they could be, and you're self-aware enough to know that, then you can change that to tweak your outcome in life, because we know our thoughts and our emotions are energy, and they subsequently affect our real life, like our everyday living. Recently, I had something called Psych K done. Psych K is psychology or psychological kinesiology, and it is a way to reprogram your subconscious mind. One of my balances, one of the things that I balanced for to reprogram my subconscious mind was to become more self-aware, as well as to become more aware of self. And I'll get into the differences of those in just a minute. But when you are self-aware, it allows you to actually have more tolerance for other people, because you're able to kind of see yourself. You're able to kind of see yourself in other people. I was listening to a podcast the other day, and the guest on there was talking about, like, whenever she feels herself getting triggered, she uses a "just like me" statement. And she looks at the person who's triggering her, and she says, well, just like me, this person wants love, or just like me, this person wants happiness, or just like me, this person is frustrated. And it helps her to kind of put herself in their shoes and realize that, hey, just like me, this person is dealing with the same thing too. And that also is a way to become more self-aware and more tolerant of other people. When you are self-aware, you know your triggers. Now, our triggers can be looked at differently. A lot of people hate their triggers. I'm not going around this person, or I'm not going to that place because that triggers me. I'm avoiding it at all costs. Maybe you shouldn't necessarily avoid it at all costs. I feel like if you're going to do some real, true healing, you should not run from your triggers. You should actually run towards your triggers, because there's a reason why these things are triggering you. And the most important question in becoming self-aware is why. Why? Why is this making me feel this way? Why does this happen when I come around this person? Why does this happen when I go to that place? Why are these emotions coming up all the time? Why is this situation, this person, this place, this thing, why is it triggering me? That lets you know where you still have work to do. Your triggers are actually one of your best friends, because they're going to put you on track to keep progressing in your spiritual journey and in life. Because once you face those triggers head forward, head on, and you get over them, oh my gosh, that's growth. That is growth. That is catapulting you into the next level. So don't run from your triggers. Try to learn your triggers. Even just journal. Write down the things that make you feel a certain way. Like whenever you feel hot For me, it always happens. I get hot first. My body gets really hot. Like in my chest area, it always affects my heart chakra. And I feel like that may be a reason why my heart chakra was kind of blocked like a year or two ago. It was like really blocked. It was. But I became self-aware of those things because I was one of those people. Oh, if you trigger me, I'm just going to cut you off. I'm never going to speak to you again. And that's not to say that if a person triggers you, you do have to stay in communication with them, but at least become self-aware enough to know why. Ask yourself why this person is triggering me. Why does it bother me so much? Why is going to be your best friend, your favorite question in becoming more self-aware. Okay, now that we have spoken about becoming more self-aware, I want to get into a little bit of becoming more aware of self. Like I said, they sound very similar. They do share some similarities, but they are different as well. So, becoming more self-aware is basically being aware of your reactions, your emotions, your thoughts, everything that you consciously are aware of, right? Things that happen from your from the outside environment, being aware of why they make you feel a certain way or why they evoke certain emotions. Becoming aware of self is, oh, it's a beautiful thing, y'all. Becoming aware of self is realizing or being aware of who you are, right? If I ask you the question, who are you? Well, if someone asks me the question, who are you? Naturally, I might respond, well, I'm Charlmayne Settles. No, that's my name. Who am I? Okay, now let me think. I'm Charlmayne Settles. I am a spiritual teacher. I'm a transformation coach. I'm an author. I'm a mother. I'm a wife. Nope, that's not who I am. Those are just the roles that I play in this lifetime. Okay, so who am I? Ooh. Okay, I got it. I'm a woman. No, that's not who I am either. Here's a perfect exercise to do. I'm just going to use this piece of paper for an example. So whatever you have in front of you, you can take that, just sit it out in front of you, and I want you to look at it. Okay, you may have thought, okay, I'm looking at this paper, but so what? But who was looking at the paper? I was looking at the paper. No, who noticed that you were looking at the paper? You. That's who you are. On a soul level, that's who you are. Becoming aware of self is becoming aware of who you are inside, not who you are just walking through life day to day, not even the thoughts in your head. The person you are is the person, hey Lenita, the person who you really are inside is the person who is aware of those thoughts, who is aware of those emotions, who is aware of those triggers. That's who you are. This is a book that I want to recommend. It is called The Untethered Soul. It is called The Untethered Soul, and it is by Michael A. Singer. This book poses the question, who are you? And when I tell you, it really makes you go into who you truly are, not on the surface level, not the roles you play, not the titles you put on yourself, but who you are. And once you're able to operate from that level of awareness of self, once you're able to operate from self, oh my gosh, life Oh my gosh. I wish I could put it into words, but it's truly something that you have to experience. Once you're able to kind of detach emotion from everything, like not put so much feeling behind it and realize that you're having a journey, your soul having a human experience. Once you're able to kind of sit in that soul seat and watch yourself have that human experience, life becomes a haven. It's kind of like paradise. I'm not lying to you. Once you're able to sit back and see that you don't have to be attached to anything, and that there's growth and there are lessons in everything, it's a really beautiful thing. That's becoming aware of self versus becoming self-aware. Becoming aware of self is like, it's kind of like you're able to laugh at yourself. You're able to kind of immediately learn the lessons that come up, because it's like you're experiencing it, but you're not internalizing it, and everything isn't so personal. You're not taking everything so personally. Once you realize that this is a journey and you have the power, you have the authority to be self-aware, to operate from self, from the seat of your soul. That's the next book that I'm going to recommend to y'all. But that book is thicker than I am, so it's going to be a minute before I can kind of go into that one. I have not started reading it. I'm just now finishing up The Untethered Soul. But that is definitely a book that I recommend to become more aware of self. And becoming more aware of self will undoubtedly make you more self-aware. Like I said, being self-aware, it has its ups. It doesn't really have downs, because even though you will feel more because you're more self-aware of things, it allows you to go in and change things that you don't like, or even not, or do things differently that bother you. So becoming self-aware versus becoming aware of self. Becoming aware of self, y'all, when I tell you, it is something beautiful. But they both allow you to look at yourself more objectively. When you are self-aware and when you're aware of self, you, like I said, you kind of get to detach yourself from the situation. It's like you're an unbiased party, even though you're the whole party. But you're an unbiased party, so you kind of get to observe yourself objectively, and it can be difficult in the beginning. It can be difficult in the end, but it is very rewarding once you master it, once you practice it, and you'll notice that you become more unbothered. You know how people want to walk around and say, oh, I'm unbothered by this and I'm unbothered by that, but really they're really bothered. Once you're self-aware and aware of self, you're going to be unbothered. Truly. A technique to be more self-aware, or to grow in your self-awareness, is to journal. Now, I will share that someone shared with me that when they were journaling, they stopped journaling because they felt that it was putting them in a down mood. They were self-aware enough to know what journaling was doing to them. But I personally am an advocate of journaling, because I feel like it allows you to kind of track your progress. It's something that you can see on paper. Thicker than a sneaker. It's something that you can kind of see on paper, like, I journal. I won't lie to you. I have fallen off of my journaling regime, especially because of this overnight shift that I have been working. But journaling, I'll go back to like 3 months. From 3 months ago when I started journaling to if I wrote a journal entry right now, that would be completely different. And that's also a way to kind of gauge your progress through journaling. And even if you say, today, this person had me all the way messed up, you know, and you write why they had you messed up, and a few months later, you might look back and say, oh, that was silly. You know, you might say that was silly. Or now you might say, well, I would never let anything like that get to me today because, like, I'm more self-aware. And like I said, being more self-aware also allows you to be more tolerant of other people, because when you're self-aware, you're able to see when other people are not so much aware of themselves. So it's kind of like when the guy at my job was being rude to me, and I knew he was not aware of it because I saw the anger in his face, like, even for days after that, when he would look at me, I was like, oh, wow, he's still upset about that. Well, that's a him problem, not a me problem. But yes, another practice on your journey to becoming self-aware is to write down your goals, write down your plans, write down your priorities, and of course to perform daily self-reflection. A lot of times we don't like to check ourselves, but it's necessary to check yourself sometimes. Like, my sister, she calls me all the time and she'll say, hey, was I wrong for this? I'm glad you calling me because you want to become more self-aware of this issue in case it arises the next time or in the future. Am I wrong for this? And if she's wrong, I will tell her, from my point of view, baby, you were wrong, you know? So next time when that situation comes up, she's able to sit back and assess herself. She's able to reflect on the things that she may have contributed to the issues, you know? So performing daily self-reflection and journaling about those things daily, that's a great thing. That's a great way to become more self-aware. Of course, we cannot forget about meditation and practicing other mindful habits. Meditation for me honestly changed my life. I'm not being corny when I say this. I'm not being dramatic when I say this. But meditation changed my life because I did not realize that meditation not only helped me become more self-aware, but it helped me to become more aware of self. It helped me to become aware of self, right? So, like I said in my other video, you can meditate for 10 minutes or you can meditate for an hour. Sometimes I get so lost in meditation, I don't know if I've been sitting there for 10 minutes or an hour, and I get up and it's been an hour and a half. But meditation, yeah, it kind of helps you to connect with your higher self. It helps you to be, just to be aware of self, to be aware of not who you think you are, but who you truly are on a soul level, you know. So yeah, meditation is also number one for becoming self-aware. You could ask people, like I said, my sister calls me and she'll say, you know, am I wrong for this? Am I wrong for that? If it's difficult for you to be an unbiased party in your party of one, then ask your friends, ask your sister, your brother, whomever, am I wrong for this? And, you know, ask whoever you know will keep it real with you. If you can't keep it real with yourself, if you're not at the point of keeping it real with yourself, ask someone else that you know will keep it real with you and won't have any malicious or ill intent when telling you the truth. Ask them, do you think I'm wrong for this? Or do you think I could do this differently? And when they tell you, don't get upset about it. You know, sit back and really think on it. Even if you do initially get upset because we want to protect ourselves at all costs, at all means, you know, any means necessary, we are going to protect ourselves. I know I love me, so I'm going to stand up for me and I'm going to protect me. But sometimes it's not always about being in that defense mode. Sometimes you need to stop and see, hey, why am I in this defense mode? You know? So whatever they do tell you that you could change or you could work on, sit back and meditate on it even. And if it feels like it resonates with you, if you know that that's something that you could work on or that you could change, work on it. Work on it. Becoming more self-aware will truly change your life. Like I said, it will truly put you in that state of unbotheredness that everyone claims to be in or wants to be a part of. Self-awareness equals unbotheredness. And awareness of self equals, just bliss. Bliss and detachment from materialism, detachment from toxic emotions, just a beautiful thing. All right, beautiful, beautiful people. That is all that I have for you today. I did want to plug this book one more time for those of you who just popped in. This book is The Untethered Soul, The Journey Beyond Yourself. When I say I highly, highly, highly recommend this book, it's by Michael A. Singer. I highly recommend this book, not only for becoming self-aware, but becoming aware of self. You will not be disappointed. Now, since I plugged that book, wait a minute. I'm going to plug this book as well. Hey, Little Black Girl, For the Unhealed Little Black Girl in You by Charlmayne Settles. Who? Charlmayne Settles? It is available on Amazon.com. There's a Kindle version, there's a paperback version, and it is available on my website, charmaynesettles.com. Until next time, peace, love, and light.